All right. Well, hi, Marsha. How's it going?
It is going well. Thank you, Dorian. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy day, I'm sure, to come and talk with us and drop some knowledge on us. My name's Dorian. For those of you joining us for the first time, I'm the host of the Next Gen Podcast. Can you sort of introduce yourself and your business for people who aren't familiar with you?
Absolutely. I'm Marsha Guerrier, the founder of HerSuiteSpot. I help women start, grow, and scale businesses, primarily service-based businesses, tech-founded businesses, helping them develop their what I call the 4 areas of success: mindset, money, marketing, and media. We do this through coaching, community, and one of the biggest things we do is provide capital, providing women 1 month, $1,000 micro grant every month through the Rise micro grant.
Awesome. Awesome. And can you talk, bring us all the way back, bring us to the beginning of HerSuiteSpot. Was there any sort of origin story? Was there, a specific problem you're trying to face or an experience that you had that sort of gave you the light bulb up top for this business?
Absolutely. So for me, it was a lot of things. Loneliness as an entrepreneur, and truly not being valued at work in corporate America, not being given the promotions that I've been promised, not, getting my voice heard. And so I wanted to create a space for women to come together to talk about these issues that we're facing, side hustlers, small business owners, startup founders. What I've in my career working in Fortune 500 in fintech, and for startups, Fortune 500s, I found that the most successful people are those that had the network and strongly believed in what they were doing, whether it was a good idea or not, right? And so I wanted to give women that sense of hope and that sense of encouragement and connect them to resources that will help them think like thriving, successful businesses. Because every business I've worked for, especially the startups, it started in the kitchen or in the basement or, and they've taken it to great heights. And I wanted to give women that same sense of empowerment to see that, Coca-Cola was just a small company at one point, right? Out of a garage making pop, probably. I don't know the origin story, but you know what I mean? Like even beauty brands, because women of color primarily start beauty brands as their side hustles. And, you think of the huge L'Oreal's. Do you think of even Shea Moisture as a brand? Carol's Daughter, the small kitchen batch making stories. I want to give women that same sense of confidence.
I love that. And I love how you mentioned, not only the passion and the drive to start your own business, and that's so important in success, but also like the networking, which is arguably, of equal importance, because networking, communication, that sort of thing is so important, but it's also one of the most difficult. It's so hard to sort of like get out there and break out of your shell and do like these shows, these presentations,
Yeah.
have these conversations. So I think like you providing that service is so important. And, it's so important to also just like say out loud how, just how vital it is to the backbone of your business, because everyone has the passion. These people all believe what they're doing is like perfect and like going to work. They think they have like this perfect, beautiful idea, but it's so important to do sort of the networking as well. I love that.
You know what? And what's so funny about the networking part, and almost 75% of the women that come through HerSuiteSpot have one thing in common: they hate to network. And so it is the most fascinating thing when you get to survey thousands of women, thousands of people, entrepreneurs like I have through HerSuiteSpot. You'll find that a large majority of entrepreneurs that start businesses that have high impact or want to make a high impact are introverted. I just talked about this recently. Entrepreneurs are the most introverted people that I've ever met. We don't want to be out front most of the time. We don't want to be the face of our brands and our businesses. But today's digital world and personal brands have made it so that entrepreneurs have to be the face of their business. And that's one of the biggest struggles. And we try to make that easier for the women in our community to get themselves comfortable with being out front.
Right. That's awesome. Would you consider yourself an introverted person? Honestly?
Yes, but no one believes me because I'm so animated and I can be so excitable at times, and I bring energy to whatever space I enter. But the work that I have to do, the mindset workout that I have to do before entering any space, before practicing or pitching, before entering a meeting, even this podcast, it's like, okay, I have good things to say. You know, you got to remind yourself of all the positive things that led you to where you are. So I do feel like I'm an introvert. I love to be at home, but I'm also equally as excited to be talking and meeting with people at the same time.
Right. It's just so funny. Like the past few interviews, that keeps coming up. Like everyone says, "Oh, I'm an introvert," but you're also talkative, and like, and it, like, you know, it.
Well, that's the greatest thing about that is when you do what you love and you have passion for, it makes it easy to come out of your shell. And oftentimes when people come to me that start a business where they just want to get in for the money and it's not part of their skill set or not part of their passion, and they're finding it difficult to really grow their business and to show up for their business, it's usually because it's not within you, right? It's so important to have, to think about what you are passionate about and bring that to market.
Right. And, you know, just on the same sort of path of being introverted and networking, can you talk about like the initial leap of faith that you had to take before starting HerSuiteSpot, and what was that like? You know, what was going through your head at the time? What were people telling you on the outside, and what were you feeling internally?
Yeah, good question. So I just celebrated our 10-year legal anniversary.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you so much. So I say legal anniversary because it took me 2 years of operating before I got that confidence and said, this is real. This is what people want. So before I invested too much, like with the trademarking and with the legal work, I really spent some time bringing people together. So for me and building this community, I started there first, hosting events where women came together. Prior to HerSuiteSpot, I did have a nonprofit organization, so I was involved in community work already and had some connections there. And so I knew how to organize. And so I organized an event for entrepreneurs, my friends that were experiencing the same things that I was experiencing in corporate America, and had these weekend projects or, you know, night projects and businesses. And so, but they didn't know how to maintain books, what to do with their finances, to pay taxes properly, and how to charge properly and things like that. So I wanted to create events and a space for us to have those conversations, and that's really where it started. So my faith that to take that step really was after applying all of the things that in real time, and to just get the feedback from people to see if it was something that was wanted.
Right. And this is how I always know an interview is going to go well. You kind of just killed my next question already. I was going to ask, you know, about the resources that you sort of used when starting HerSuiteSpot, but I think it's really cool how you mentioned, you know, your past experience working in the nonprofit sector and having all these like little events and things like that. Were there any sort of methods of studies or mentors that you also tapped into while starting up HerSuiteSpot, or was it mainly just from, you know, prior work experience?
It's a bit of both, and thank you. It's because I come from fintech, so I come from an industry where mentors are all around me. So I was fortunate enough to have a good, strong background in business development, right? And in tech startup world. And so with that in mind, the nonprofit that I started and formed was more about community work. And that gave me the network to build and to think, okay, I'm meeting experts in legal areas. I'm meeting experts because of my nonprofit work in accounting and just working with all these different people as a founder of a nonprofit that serviced the community and volunteered a lot. And I said, you know what? This is what we need as entrepreneurs, as side hustlers, to really build. And I was fortunate enough to have that background and to come from that space of already being a community organizer, which then allowed me to call on people. It's not that I have it already, it's that I had some of the network to help me build. And then I knew enough to say to everyone that was around me, this is what I'm doing and I need help. So very early on, I was especially when you come from the nonprofit space, you're begging all the time. So the ask is always ready, right? And so when I was building HerSuiteSpot, I just ensured that I asked the right people. And it's not necessarily the person that could give me what I needed, but do you have contacts in the areas that I'm looking for? And that has sustained me all of these years. It's really been my network that has allowed me to continue operating HerSuiteSpot for all these years.
And you also mentioned, and I really appreciate you mentioning the nonprofit and like sort of like asking for money and like sort of begging all the time and really trying to like state your case for something when it's sort of hard to show the impact of, especially like when working for a nonprofit. Can you talk about some of those challenges that come, I guess, not with the nonprofit sector, but when starting up your own business, specifically with HerSuiteSpot, just sort of like the early difficulties that you could run into, any hurdles that you weren't expecting?
Well, I can tell you as a woman, mm-hmm. and a woman of color at that, Black woman, the biggest hurdle is that, typically what we're looking for in sponsorship or partnership, investors, and we don't start with a network of our own friends and family around, right? That's typically not there. And then when we start to talk to people, it's questioned, right? Will this really succeed? Do you really have what it takes to build a team and make the business grow? And it's really having to prove yourself. And all of those no's from a lot of people build a lot of, I say animosity, but self-doubt, right? All the negative beliefs that other people think about you as a female founder, as a female business owner, that could really slow down your growth. And that's why we created this community to give women the pats on the back, the resources to help them to believe in what they're doing so that they can keep it going.
That's so important. And I guess just sort of on the note of importance, being such a successful Black woman, in this industry, which is so almost like tightly guarded, do you ever just find yourself taking a moment to like sort of reflect on the importance of what you're doing? I mean, it's such an admirable thing what you're doing, all this education, all this, sort of like access that you're providing, all this, everything you provide really, it's so important. And do you ever just find yourself looking at the business and your own personal legacy and the services you provide and just reflecting on how important it all is?
Dorian, I do often reflect, and I sometimes often want to quit, and I'll be honest with you, right? Because it is such a hard fight from where I sit I sometimes want it for people more than they want it for themselves. I can immediately meet someone and hear their struggle, their challenges, their story. And once we start to get to work together, they begin to sort of like wean off and fall back into negative beliefs. And it's like, you have it, you can do this. And so I often do want to give up, and then I'm reminded, because every time I go through that time, like maybe I've done enough. Maybe people don't need these communities and services anymore. And when I turn around and I get a message from a suite mate, we call our community suite mates, from a suite mate who says, I just won first place at a pitch for $25,000, right? I just got accepted into this accelerator program. I just made this connection because of the pitch that I practiced through HerSuiteSpot, right? And the advice that was given to me through what we call our boardroom sessions. And so when it crosses my mind, I say God always knows when to bring me the success story that makes me realize the impact that I am making. When I speak to the women that we give grants to, and I have a podcast where I interview recipients and they talk about their funding journey and they talk about what it meant to receive a micro grant. When I first started giving out the micro grants back it really started in 2014, but I say officially 2017, consistently, it was $100. And I would almost be embarrassed to say I give out $100 because you think that's not enough. But what it does is plant seeds of hope in people. So many people come back to me and say, that was the first time I felt seen. Just this $100 was enough for me to build confidence that someone else saw my application, saw my business, and believes that I can be a success. And when I think about all these stories is when I say, okay, I'm meant to be here.
And how did you, sort of going back to the beginning again, but sort of your first customers, going way back to when you first started HerSuiteSpot, what were some of the methods that you used to spread the word and attract clients?
Well, because I come from, again, the fintech industry, and I've worked remotely, and I've worked across, I worked with developers from abroad, and so virtual was always a thing for me. So we were able to be very front of mind with people virtually. So I started primarily from at the local level because it was in-person experiences, and then the word just spreads on its own. Once we released the grants to be more nationwide, we actually have people within our community from every single state in the country. So there are women everywhere looking for support, looking for resources. And, I'm very proud to be amongst a group of organizations that are providing such resources and community for people. So it really was just a slow word of mouth because we were already virtual, and then the pandemic happened, right? Yeah. So for the first few years, we were really local, New York, but once you're in New York, you're kind of almost everywhere, right? And then the word kind of spreads from there. And I traveled a lot as a speaker to different conferences speaking about entrepreneurship. And that's what helped me get the exposure for HerSuiteSpot to be more national, and what propelled me to do a hybrid virtual business model. And the pandemic really fast forwarded everything into more virtual. But even before that, we were Zooming before Zoom became a thing.
Back to mentorship, right? And people just outside of you who work for HerSuiteSpot, who serve as mentors. Can you talk about the process of, connecting a mentor with a mentee? Like, what does that process look like? Do you have specific mentors who are tailored more towards local or tech businesses? How is that matchup process?
Because of our 4 pillar of success framework, we I was going to say box them in. We put mentors into one of the tracks of our 4 pillars. Right. And so we'll have mindset mentors, and everything we do is in boardroom style sessions where it's group work. So there's no longer, we used to do the one-on-ones, but we found that was just too much. Not many people wanted that. And so the group environments was how we do it now. And So we put our mentors into the segments. You're either a mindset coach, money coach, marketing coach, or media coach, and then we have operations and management. And so when we're hosting our workshops, we identify which pillar the workshop will fall under. This year, we are focused so much on a theme of her rise to capital. And we did our first in-person experience in Atlanta earlier this year, and we are working on our second in-person experience for later this fall. We'll be announcing the city then. So our events used to be primarily in New York, where I am based, but we've learned last year, going back in person, we took a group of women to California. Well, we didn't pay for them. We all met up at a conference in California and had it really opened us up to taking our in-person events throughout the country. And so we are on a mission to give women the resources to rise to her capital, to prepare her to understanding all the funding avenues that there are and pathways to funding, and venture capital not being one that for most of us does not fit. And so really teaching people the different ways to earn capital.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I like the little teaser, the little sneak peek of there's going to be a city coming soon. So, watch out for that. Who are some entrepreneurs or business leaders that inspire you personally?
Entrepreneurs or business leaders. I would be remiss not to say Oprah.
Love it.
I feel like every Black woman is like Oprah. I don't want to be Oprah, but I use her as an example when I teach and talk about the art of pivoting and being able to, you've never reached the pinnacle of success because there's success has another ring to its ladder at every stage that you move. And when I think about her and what she's done for her career, when she left her network, and I use this all the time in my talks, you would have never expected that there was another level of success in media for her, having built Harpo, having her show, but then she proved us and got a network. Oh no, that would be her next thing. And so staying within the realm of her industry, but taking it to the next level. And from the network, she's done podcasting or all the things that she's doing and have done. And it's the magazine, and it's such an inspiration to watch her pivot. And right now, more than anything, right now, women are in phases in their lives because of the economy, because of job loss, where pivoting is important. And so that she'll be the one.
Yeah, she's so awesome. I feel like this is like the second or third time she's come up in this show. And I really love, how you sort of pivoted that into another level of success. That's a really important concept. And I think like Oprah is the perfect example for that, right? Like just when you thought it couldn't go any higher, like the bar just moves up and up and up every single time. So I'm excited to see what's next.
And it's not even because people would think that we pick her, or I would pick her because of her wealth. It's not the wealth. It's just the example of reinventing yourself, but still in a way that's true to who you are. Right? She's just such an inspiration that way to me.
So we've looked now at, sort of the humble beginnings of HerSuiteSpot. We've looked at the modern success, and now I kind of want to look at the future. Where do you see HerSuiteSpot in the next, 5, 10, 15, etc. years?
My biggest dream for HerSuiteSpot is to be able to provide more access to funding, whether it is becoming angels, creating an angels agency within HerSuiteSpot, or partnering with other financial institutions to provide funding from within HerSuiteSpot. That's really where I envision the brand going, because we're all about access to capital, because that is, usually one of the things that we need more to get access to inventory, to get access to whatever next level it is we need.
Awesome. And are there any new, sort of products or projects or services to provide that like you're kind of looking towards implementing in the future that you're currently working on? Anything give us a little sneak peek to?
So with this year being the theme of the Her Rise to Capital, we do have the Her Rise to Capital pre-accelerator that we will be opening applications for soon so that program is really going to help people get capital ready, prepare them with all the assets that they need, all the due diligence that will be required of them, documentation, pitch decks, business plans, thorough financial plans, understanding what financial plans and projections truly look like to speak well to them during your pitch process. So that's something that we're looking to refine our pre-accelerator program, connecting them within that program to angels who will give them real-time feedback and potential investments. So that's the pre-step to the long-term vision for HerSuiteSpot.
Of course, that's very exciting to look forward to. And finally, what is your ultimate vision? What is your sort of end game, end goal for, your brand and your entrepreneurship journey and sort of just your legacy as a whole?
To really be seen as the brand that is the launch pad for successful female entrepreneurs. I want people, and I hear it often, I try to because I have the blinders on and I'm such that introvert that I mentioned, I don't often stop to take stock of the impact that we're making, but I will meet people from different areas of industries and the first thing they will say is, I've heard of you. I know who you are, right? I know HerSuiteSpot, but they typically don't know me because again, I'm just in the corner, working that underground railroad to success, I say oftentimes. And I just want people to remember HerSuiteSpot as that launching pad and that place where seeds of hope are planted for female entrepreneurs.
Well, that's pretty much all I have for you question-wise for today. Do you want to do any quick shout outs or tell us where we can find some of your amazing products? And also you mentioned you had a podcast earlier. I really want you to shout that out as well. I want to tune into that.
Yes, it's a HerSuiteSpot podcast. You can get access to it, HerSuiteSpotExperience.com or HerSuiteSpotPodcast.com. But you can access it through our main website, HerSuiteSpot.com. You can learn all about our programs, our girls program. If you're in New York, our applications are currently open for this year's summer program. And the beautiful thing about this program as well is a project-based program for young girls on a college campus, university, and for 2 weeks, and then earn a grant at the end of the program. So it's a free program, and they get to, if they complete it successfully, earn a grant at the end of this program. So I'm very proud of that. But everything is HerSuiteSpot. You'll find me, HerSuite, SUITE, Spot on all social media platforms and our website.
Awesome. Well, all right. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to this episode of the Next Gen Podcast. Thank you especially to Marsha for taking the time to talk with us today. I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate just how thoughtful and honest all of your answers were. This was definitely one of my favorite interviews I've done so far on this channel. I hope you have a great day, and I wish you all the best in future endeavors.